All right. Well, first of all, welcome to the Social Media Super Summit with Ray and Jessica Higdon. My name is Garrett McGraw. It is my privilege and pleasure to be your MC and host this weekend. It's going to be a brilliant weekend. You know what, guys? Because of you. You are some of the most important people in here. This is going to be great because you're great. You showed up here as a leader willing to invest your money and your time. And I will tell you, Ray and Jessica Higdon and Sage Media and the entire team here is going to work to make sure that just the first day alone, just the fun that you have and what you learn the first day alone is going to bring you the value that you deserve just with one day. So guys, we want to stay very connected and super present. We want to be focused and engaged. And one thing I always like to say, many of you have never been to our home or live here now in the Pacific Northwest. What is the biggest room in the McGraw household? What should the biggest room in your household be? It should be what? The room for improvement. And that's why we're all here. You know, one of the things that I've often heard say, if you are the smartest person in the room, you need to get yourself into a new room. And in today's world, we're in digital rooms. So I can, if you see me looking off here, I've got different chats up here. I can see Michelle Eldridge. She just says, hello, Garrett. Thank you very much. I can see John Melton. Buckle up. Could be life altering. John Melton, I will tell you, it is going to be absolutely life altering. Room for success, Fabio says. Jordan's going, let's go. So this is going to be fantastic. So guys, we want to be active in the chat, but the chat's important. Let's be active in the chat when we get started and the speakers are speaking just with ahas. So when you have a bing, a big light bulb moment, when you have a aha, that makes more sense than it ever made before. Yes, I just had $1 million moment. I just got that one idea that could make the biggest difference in my life for me and for my team. You can post that in the chat. So you want to be present, but at the same time, you don't want to distract yourself by being overly active in the chat or distracting other people. So the chat, we want to use it and just lead by example, but really share with people and have people see the aha moments. We need to play full out. Guys, you get back what you invest. So all of us wants to invest. How do we invest? It's by being present. It's by being engaged. It's by showing up with a mindset that is open to receive the information, but not only to receive the information, but say to yourself, okay, this is what I've received. I'm going to take action. I'm actually going to put this into action with my team. You know, leadership, one of the most important things, as Abraham Lincoln said, is leadership by example. We want to take what we learn here, huddle up with our team and put it into action, make a difference in our lives, in our team's lives, in the lives of our customers in the month of October. We don't want to wait to put this information. We want to be engaged. So guys, I want to say this, Ray and Jessica Higdon and Sage Media and the team here has really put a tremendous amount of depth and complexity of thinking into designing and creating for you an immersive experience that builds on top of itself. In other words, it's got foundational pieces that builds on the next foundational piece, that builds on the next foundational piece. And what will that create? The accumulatory effect will create a life-changing experience, as John Melton talked about. It's going to create something that is going to have you literally change your life if you're open to it and participate. So if you can, see every session. But guys, I would make sure, remember this, your environment will work harder on you than you will in your environment. Listen to what I just said again. Your environment will work harder on you than you do on your environment. So it is important, you know, that when we said is early is on time. But early is on time and depends on what environment are you going to be in. Guys, it's important, I believe, that I know you can watch this on your phone, but guys, it's important that you watch on your laptop. You know, you want to be able to enjoy the experience. If you can, have a room that only you're in. Is it possible, if the children are with you, that you have somebody making sure that if they need someone, they've got someone that's there that can look after them. Now, why would you think that that's important? Because you don't want to be distracted. You love your children. You're doing this for your children. You're doing this for your loved ones. But you don't want that idea that might have made the difference to have slipped by because you were distracted. If at all possible, create an environment that is just conducive, or the most conducive environment that you can create to learning. Maybe you want to put on the doorway, say, please be quiet, making our family's dreams happen. Maybe you want to put on there, this is, our $1 million moment. You could put that on the door. Please be quiet. Mom and dad are creating a new future for us and our family. Whatever that is, you just want people to be aware. Two things are happening. One, you want them to be quiet. And number two, why do they want to be quiet? Because you're investing your time and energy into creating a new and better future for your family, for your team, for your customers, for the world. Because I believe the world needs more. Ray and Jessica believe, rank makers believe, that the world needs more of you. In other words, a community of people that are authentically accepting. I love the way Ray and Jessica Higdon talk about this. Angel Fletcher talks about this. Ryan Higgins talks about this. Being a good human, just simply loving people, loving where they're at, unconditionally, not being transactional, being authentically accepting. That's what the world needs and wants more of. You can bring this to the world. You can bring it here. So show up, do everything that you can do to make this an incredible event. In fact, Ray and Jessica Higdon have, with Sage Media and with the team, have really laid something out that I think is world-class. It has never been seen before. And if you're open to it, it literally will change your life. So one of the most important places when you're at a digital event is, where do you find maybe the information you're looking for? So all roads lead to the dashboard. So I want to say this. This is important. I want all of you to be in a place where you can see that all roads lead to the dashboard. This is where everything actually lives for you. What does that mean? There are resources like PDFs. There's a help desk. There is support. There are rewards. There are resources. So this is where you want to be. Throughout the weekend, this is exciting. I've never been part of an event that's got this like a scavenger hunt, like you're looking for Easter eggs and little prizes inside the training. It's a reason to be fully engaged. There's going to be gifts throughout the weekend. You know that rank makers, and you know that Ray and Jessica Higdon, and you know that so many of the team here are super appreciative. They show their appreciation. They're very generous in what they do, and they give gifts. They want to recognize you for participating and being leaders. So there'll be gifts throughout the weekend. There'll be grand prizes at the end of the week. So if this is going Thursday, Friday, on Saturday, we'll talk about more about this later. But where do you find these Easter eggs? Where do you find these little treasures? Well, it's really by going to the dashboard, by being fully engaged in the weekend, by being active in the chat, by doing the things that are asked of you, so that you can accumulate points. Important point here, though. Some of you might be super smart and be thinking, well, I wonder if I can, digitally cozy up to someone that's in the help desk, and maybe they'll tell me, where do I get more Easter eggs? No, 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 no. You got to figure out yourself. You've got to participate yourself and make that happen. So people are saying, good morning for Vermont. Kelly's saying they're always so generous. Yes, they are. So many people already impressed with the team and the service. That's Jenny. There's no doubt. So I can see some of the chats here. You can see me looking off to the side here. Put your cameras on. You know, it's really nice to be able to see you active, to see you engaged, to see you what you're doing, and that we can all have lots of fun here today. You're going to learn so much. As I said, Ray and Jessica Higdon and the team here, they want it to be such that just what you learn today will absolutely, in terms of return on your investment, be a return that's so high, so much more than you expected, but you will receive that return in one day. In terms of the financial investment, in terms of the time investment, in terms of the emotional engagement that you give to it. So I want to create the expectation. Ray and Jessica want to create the expectation that you will receive the value that you're looking for just in your first day. Think about who Ray and Jessica Higdon are, guys. You know, some of you on here may be, currently having challenges. You may be have financial challenges. You know, Ray and Jessica Higdon, Ray talks about, being a successful business person, leveraging that during the housing times. There was a boom market in Florida, and then he lost everything. In fact, he lost everything where broke would have been a good place to be. He went so much into debt because he was over leveraged. You know, he had his then girlfriend at the time, Jessica, that was helping him pay the bills. How does that make you feel? I think that he talks about at the time, it made him feel like, oh my gosh, I really need to do this. I need to make this happen. But some of you might have financial challenges. The environment was less than ideal. You know, he didn't have the money to pay his bills. They were living together. They didn't have the ideal environment. He had not had the successes that he was looking for. Other things had not worked out. Maybe some of you are in that place that things have not worked. Maybe you're not in the most emotionally stable of places. You know, he's had things in his past that happened that were very, very challenging. Ray and Jessica are one of the pioneers within our profession, which is figuring out how do you use social media? How do you use digital strategies? How do you have an online and offline strategy that can duplicate in network marketing and create a culture that can create, that's long-term, that has this really unique handshake between the online and offline world, and where you can join them together and create, predictable, sustainable growth, strong bonds and relationship, which moves people from being just a business to being a team to ultimately feeling like family. That's something that they teach and they've learned how to do, that they lead by example. They've done it in their businesses. Now, they sold their network marketing businesses so that they would not, or anybody would ask them, what are you doing? They're saying, we are 100% focused as generic, online, professional trainers, mentors, and coaches, and we are there only for you, and there is nothing else, no other agenda that bringing value into your life. That's what they have done, and they do that through Rank Makers Live. You see Ray give value every single day for over 10 years now. You see Ray and Jessica Higdon put on events twice a year. You see them write books. You see them always give of themselves and make an incredible difference and lead by example. You're going to learn strategies and tactics that are working today. You're going to learn about Facebook and about Instagram. You're going to learn how the world today is evolving, is changing. And I just want, the last thing I want to say is, you want to stay till the end of the day. Right at the end of the day, you're going to have the play to win finale. This is going to be absolutely brilliant. So many of you have been following along and you want to see who the winner is. That's going to be announced tonight. And there will be an interview with that winner. So with that, guys, I am so excited for all of us to get started here, to start bringing and receiving the value from Ray and Jessica Higdon, the Super Media Summit, and with all of us getting it together. So right now, let's get started.
Times are changing and there's so many opportunities available right now, and we just want to help other people.
Too many people are just getting by. We train network marketers how to show up in their business.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air.
We feel so lucky to have this life now, and we want to help you do the same. So join our family so we can be wildly successful beyond our wildest dreams.
Cause all I do is win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day one of Rank Makers Live. Please put your hands together and help me welcome to the stage Ray and Jessica Higdon.
I feel like I need to do it. Rank Maker! Let's go! Where they at?
Oh yeah, we need our
Where are
paddles.
your fans? Who's got him? Who's got him?
They're
Look at this.
I saw some interesting videos with those paddles
Yes.
yesterday and last
Yes.
night. We had some skits going between Ray and I. Ray, what are you doing?
And please let's do some digital emojis. Y'all know how to do that. Let's do some digital emojis for Garrett. Isn't he amazing?
Amazing.
Garrett killing it. Oh, do we see those anywhere?
Ooh,
I want
I
everyone
see
to
'em, I see 'em.
People seeing them?
Look at you guys.
I'm not seeing the digital.
Oh, this
You
is
gotta get the
awesome.
digital.
We can call you out by name. Let's see. Who did I
Yeah.
see dancing?
What's up, Warren? I like that
it
flag.
Trish dancing.
Warren Taylor in the
maybe?
house.
Let's see. Oh, I see Sean. What's up, Sean?
Joe's got a
Hey.
swag shop set up. I like it. Joe Hubbs.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Very cool. Who else we got dancing? Monica.
I see Sean
Dance it
Murphy in the
out.
house.
Yeah.
Is he on a roller coaster? What's going on? Or he's just it looks like a roller. Is he on a roller coaster?
I think his family is just very excited. Yeah.
That's amazing. And here's what's amazing about going virtual is, if you were in front of us and you're like 2 rows away, it'd be like, I can't really see you because I'm blinded by the lights and I definitely can't tell who you are. Here we can actually see you. So I really appreciate you playing big, having your camera on, showing up powerfully. We are so excited to just breathe some fire into you and help you with amazing strategies and help you with amazing insights and breakthroughs this weekend. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So give yourself some digital emojis. Give yourself a hand because you're here playing big. You could be taking it easy. It's amazing. So we just love it. We love it.
Yeah, and just like Garrett shared, I encourage you all to keep your cameras on while you can. I know
emojis.
some of the ladies, you
Emojis.
did
Look at the
your
emojis.
hair
We're
for
seeing
this
them.
event.
Yeah.
There's all the emojis.
So cool.
You took the time and the money
Yeah.
to invest in this type of event and in yourself. And again, we commend you for that, but don't
Yeah.
cheapen it.
Right.
So that means treat this as if you were here, standing right in front of us on the stage here in front of us and looking at this event in person, because we really are creating, at least we hope to, that experience for you. And that is how you have the breakthroughs, which, just like Garrett said, stay until the very end. Make sure you attend every session that you can. and play full out, man. That's why we're here. That's why you got these cool door hangers in your boxes. And I believe many of you have already showed that you've hung these on your door, and we truly mean this.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for you to learn how to make millions of dollars if that's what you deserve.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, if that's what you desire.
Right.
So make sure that you utilize that and have the conversation with your families that, hey, this weekend, this is what I'm doing for us.
Yep.
So, and we just so appreciate you all being here.
Yeah, for sure. Playing big, playing big. And so we have so many things that we're excited about this weekend. It's going to be, or this week, it's Thursday, right? But we are just so fired up. And our big mission is just to really help you transform, help you in ways that we've been helped over the years. You know, my life has been changed from events. We want to help change your life. And you're going to hear me talk about why this is such an important year to do just that. It really, really is. This is the time for this community to step up. This is the year to step up because the world needs it. The world needs it. There are people out there that are lost, confused. They've, maybe their job has been affected or their businesses have been affected. You have a solution to other people's problems. This is not the time to shrink, because the media wants you afraid of everything in the world. It's not the time to be divisive. It's the time to come together as a community to impact those who need solutions in their life. And let me tell you, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. And so I just really appreciate you showing up and playing big.
You know what I heard that was really going off script here a little bit,
Okay.
but you know what I heard that was...
Wait, we have a script? Where is it?
I don't know.
I think
going
I
off
need it.
slide. Yeah, you need it. No. You know what I heard that was really cool is the hairdresser that I had this morning, because I got my hair did for this virtual event. Pretty fun.
I did my own.
Ray did his own. He's amazing.
Wondering. I'm sure people were curious.
Yes. She said she had her first wedding this year. And to me, that was hope, because she said more and more people are starting to call her for weddings and things. It brings just a little glimpse of hope. And so I think this event couldn't have come at a better time for you to really step into that power and start creating that greatness for yourself. We're right at the cusp of, I believe, what's going to be the best year ever for this profession and for you if you so choose to plug into the right things.
Yeah. By the way, Jess, you're getting some love over here. Bambi says she love your outfit. Margaret says loves your outfit. Suzanne, you're so gorgeous.
Oh, you guys are so sweet.
Truth.
Oh,
All truth.
Thank you so much.
Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so
Appreciate
cool.
it.
Appreciate you. All right, so I have your very first kind of direction that I want to give to you, and I want you to be more vulnerable. And this is so wild to say, of all the years of self-development, of all the events, of all the coaches, of all the mentors and the masterminds that I've been a part of, I had a major breakthrough just in the last week. And if you play big, if you keep going to places where you feel maybe you're not ready, if you keep showing up when you don't feel like it, you too will have breakthroughs. I'm going to suggest to you to be more vulnerable. And I want to tell you something. I thought I knew what changed my life. And for those that may not know, I will share it with you. I know that some of you may have seen me talk about the story about my dad, and some have not. So I want to share that story. So I didn't have the greatest childhood, and from 3-ish, 4-ish to 12, I was in a pretty rough scenario. And at the age of 12, I had the opportunity to choose whether I was going to stay with my dad and stepmom or go live with my mom. And so I chose to live with my mom. And I didn't talk to my dad. I didn't see him, didn't talk to him. And there was a period of 13 years where I didn't talk to him. He didn't meet his grandsons. My sons at the time were 9 and 10 years old, I believe. He had never met them. We never talked. I went to an event, and it was a 3-day event. I went to that event, and I went there at a time when I had lost everything in real estate. I was dead broke. I was in foreclosure. I was very depressed. I was drinking heavily all the time. And I went there hoping maybe I can find a way to make money, because I thought I was broken. I thought that I'd lost something. I'd lost my drive. I'd lost my motivation. I don't know what else, but something had changed. And I went there feeling very, very low. And I go there like maybe I can learn some strategies to make some money, because I'm broke as a joke. And I went there, and the number one thing I came away with was I had repair relationship with my dad on a to-do list with no priority. Well, what happens with a to-do list with no priority is you lose the opportunity. You lose the chance. People pass away. You aren't able to repair anything because you keep waiting. And so on day 2 of that event, I reach out to him. First time, hadn't talked to him in 13 years. Reach out to him, and we had a conversation. And an important part of this that I really hope you get, because over the years I've had a lot of people that have taken action, from this story, and I'll share some of that. But I was addicted to me doing the reach out. I was not addicted to his response. That's very important for you to hear, because you may have a relationship that's been hurting you. You may have someone that maybe you could be open to forgiving them, right? Not forgetting what happened, but forgiving them and releasing some of that resentment in your heart, which is what I was doing. And so I reached out to him. Turns out there was an openness there for me to go up and see him. And so you should be seeing a picture. That's my dad the first day he met his grandsons. It's me and my dad. And that was the first week of July 2009. Now, went there, had a good time, got to spend time with him, which I hadn't even talked to him, right? And I come home, and the very next week, I join a network marketing company that I go on to become the #1 income earner of. That is not coincidence. And I really believe that when you release some of that past baggage, some of the past garbage, some of the past fear, resentment, anger, hatred, when you release some of that, new things open up for you. And that's what happened to me. All of a sudden, I'm presented an opportunity that, had I been presented it a week earlier, or maybe 2 weeks earlier, I don't think I would have been open to it. And so that is what I thought changed my life. Now, here's the reality. It did change my life. But I realized there was something even more important. There was something more important, and I only realized this just last week. Just last week. We have a group where, ironically, we talk about branding, right? Not this kind of stuff. We talk about branding. And in that branding group with one of my mentors, Hank, I realized that it wasn't that created the biggest breakthrough for me. It was actually sharing about reconnecting with my dad. So let me tell you the first time I ever shared that story that you just heard. It was 2010. I was successful. I had already reached the #1 income earner spot in that network marketing company. And I had someone in my organization say, hey, can you come up to Myrtle Beach and do some trainings for me and my team, and rock this thing out? And I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, you're rocking it. Let's do it. And so I go up to Myrtle Beach, and I share that exact story that you just heard about reconnecting with my dad, how it opened up something new in my life. And I'll tell you, I'd never shared it. I'd never shared it, but something just pulled on my heart, just like share that story. It was weird. It was a weird phenomenon where I was just getting pulled to share that story. I was being pulled to share something I'd never shared before, and I just went with it. And I shared that story. Afterwards, the guy who booked me for that training was coming down the aisle, tears running down his face. And I'm like, wow, man, that was impactful, right? For him. And so he comes down the aisle, tears running down his face, and he says, I can't believe you just shared that story. I haven't talked to my dad in 17 years, and tomorrow I fly out for his funeral. And my first reaction, and I don't know if you're the same kind of personality type, but my first reaction was, damn, what if I shared earlier? So my first reaction was to beat myself up and to say, what did I do wrong? Well, I was just on a call with him a week before. If only I'd shared, maybe he would have reconnected. My second reaction was, I've got to be more vulnerable. I've got, things that have happened to me in my life that pale in comparison to some other people, and I have some things that have happened in my life that could really help other people. And it has been that, the sharing of that reconnection that's actually changed my life more than the actual doing of it. And so I've received hundreds and hundreds of messages of people over the years, of people reconnecting with their sister, with their aunt, with their uncle, with their mother, with their father, with their daughter, with their son. And there's a few I wanted to share with you, and here's one. This might be difficult for me to read. Let me see. And so this is from a friend of mine, wanted to say thank you. I haven't seen my dad in 14 years and finally saw him today and really met him for the first time. I saw him briefly 14 years ago, grew up without him. I didn't realize how much resentment and emptiness I had until I heard you speak on the topic. Thank you for helping me learn how to get through it and be happy. Here's another one. Your presentation moved me deeply. I haven't talked to my brother or father in a year. After you walked off stage, I went outside and reconnected with them both. And here's one. And I actually have two stories like this, but it's just wild. So this is Mark out of Weatherford, Texas. I was just thinking back to your Power Mind training, disc number 6, about mending failed relationships. I had that with my dad, and he had never met his grandchildren, my 2 boys. After listening to your training, I reached out to him and drove my boys 5 hours to meet him. I'm glad I did, because Wednesday, he passed away unexpectedly. I'm glad that at least my boys got to meet him, and he got to meet them. Thank you for all you do. I'm forever grateful. I want you, this is the stuff that has kept me going. This is the stuff of, I can help people. I can change some lives. And it's the exact kind of thing I want you to experience. You've been through some tough stuff. You've overcome trauma. You've overcome obstacles. You've overcome things that makes my story, pale in comparison. You being willing to be vulnerable and sharing what you've overcome is going to inspire people that I may never reach. I may never get to them. And so I really wanted to set the tone. I want you to understand that you're a survivor. You've overcome so much. And there are people out there that are hanging on by a thread, especially this year, with so much fear, so much anger, so much going on in the world. It is so important for you to understand we are the community that's going to help those people. We may be the only community that's going to help those people. It's us. we have to be willing to be vulnerable. We have to be willing to show up on the days that we don't want to. And I hope you do.
You know what's amazing about the chat is we can see what you're thinking, and we can see how you're receiving the information. We see this scroll to the side, and it's just amazing. The breakthroughs that have happened already in like the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes of this show. It's amazing. So for me, I was waiting for permission, and before I explain what that means, I want to show you where that comes from. I want to take you through where that comes from for me and my childhood. When I was a little girl, I would wait at school every day and not know who was going to show up to pick me up. And what I mean by that is it was always the same person coming to pick me up, but they would always show up with different personalities. And it wasn't her fault. She was ill at the time, and now she's an incredible, amazing mother, grandmother, and always tried her best. She really did. But when you have that going on, when you have a sickness, when you are bipolar, or even sometimes for some women, and I know there's some on here, it's going through menopause. That is a crazy, rocky time in a female's world. And when you have the combination of that and you have a young daughter, it's hard. So I didn't know who was going to show up. I didn't know if they would show up. I remember one night in the outskirts of Cleveland, Ohio, I was waiting there. I was 12 years old, and no one ever came. And so living with that made me feel like I didn't deserve to be loved. It also made me grow up very, very fast. And so I'm grateful, but I didn't feel like I deserved to be loved. And I think for women, that's a big reality to them, but it doesn't have to be. What I realized later is that I was waiting for permission from God knows who. I don't know who or who could give that to me, but I was waiting for permission from something outside of myself to tell me that I meant to be great. As I got older, I was waiting for permission for someone to tell me that they liked me or loved me. So I would be overly nice or overly helpful to people. And not that that's a bad thing, but it is when you put everybody before yourself. I was waiting for permission from something outside of myself to tell me that it's okay for you to step up and be a great leader. It's okay for you to not be loved by everybody, but do what you feel is right and do what you feel is your calling and what you're called to do. And so how many of you, and I can see all of you, you don't have to raise your paddle, but if you want to participate, you can. And I'm especially talking to the women here. How many of you feel like you're seeking permission in your life and you have no idea why? It's a lot of you. And even to this day, sometimes I still struggle with it. I still struggle with seeking permission. But I recognize it now, and I can change it and say, no, I'm giving myself permission. You don't need permission from anybody to step into your greatness. You don't need permission from your dad, your mom, your spouse even. Sorry, babe.
You never wait for my permission.
You give yourself the permission. And nobody else can do that for you until you do it for yourself. So as I grew up and started learning more about the business world and this wonderful profession of network marketing. I was young, I was 21 years old, and I found out about network marketing, joined, didn't sign anybody up for 6 months. And that came from being young, nobody respecting me in the business world, nobody looking at me as somebody who was someone to look up to, right? And that was a real blow to the ego for me. So you don't have to raise your paddle, but I know some of you are sitting there saying, yeah, I haven't signed anybody up for 3 years. I haven't signed anybody up for 10. It was a blow to the ego for me because going into this not feeling like I deserved love, going into this worried what everybody thought of me because I was seeking permission from something outside of myself. It was hard. So I had to do a lot of work on myself and give myself permission to invest my time, my money, my mindset into this and say, I'm cutting off all other options. I've made a decision, I'm cutting off all other options. And that's around the time when I made that decision. Seriously, all it takes often is making a decision. When I made that decision to go all in with this business, that's when I turned to social media and started reaching out to people, not as if I was the person that I had been the last 21 years, but I started reaching out to people as the person that I had given myself permission to be. And I truly believe for many of you, that is the big shift that you need to have. Is taking the person that you've been for the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 80 years. If you're not where you want to be right now, you need to give yourself permission to become the person that you know you're meant to be inside and start showing up that way for your prospects. So I started reaching out to people, started getting signups more and more, and long story short, at 23, became the #1 female income earner of that company, and the rest is history, I guess, as they say. But what I love about what we do now and this incredible gift that we've been given of this profession is it just makes all your stuff come to the surface. And so if you've ever been through hardships, you can become great. You don't need anybody's permission to do so. Now, I did see, and one thing I want to mention before I pass it back over to Ray, I did see somebody say, what if you haven't been through something that's inspiring to people? What if you don't have a hard childhood or a rough story growing up? And let me tell you, overall, my childhood was good. It really was. My suggestion is to go out and do something that inspires people. If you're sitting there looking at your life and you're saying, I don't have anything that's inspiring, so why would somebody want to follow me? Go do something that's inspiring. Today, you don't have to wait. Go get kicked around a little bit. Go on the court, as they say, and start getting dirty, start getting sweaty. That's inspiring enough. You've been told no 50 times? Yeah, I'll listen to that story. You've been cursed out a million times like I have, this little 21-year-old girl. Hey, you want to join my business? No, F you, right? That's inspiring. So I just had to talk to that person that thinks they don't have anything to inspire someone about. I guarantee you do. Number one, you're just maybe not looking deep enough. And number two, go give them a reason. So I hope that me sharing that has resonated with some of you, and maybe it's helped you to come out of that shell.
That's amazing. Give her some hearts. Let's see some love.
We can see the emojis back here.
We can see it back there. Let them float up. Yeah. So powerful. And I want to touch on that because there's such a thing, as weird as it sounds, Because to those who've been through trauma, it's definitely weird, right? But there's a thing called victim envy, where you hear an inspiring story and you're like, dang, I never got beat up. I never got, stomped. I never got yelled at or any of that kind of stuff. And a lot of times you overlook some of the moments in your life where you had really relatable times with other people. And I'm gonna give you two scenarios that we helped clients with. So I had one client. She had been very successful in the corporate world. She joined a network marketing company. Boom, reached $1 million a year. Bada bing. Something happened with that company, right? Sad face. Went to a different company. Boom, $1 million a year. And so I'm like, okay, we need to get you a better story, because that's not very. It's it's impressive. World of difference between impressive and inspirational. This is, and I'll make a distinction for you. When I was just getting into the self-development industry, I remember watching these DVDs. Remember those? Y'all remember those? But I was watching these DVDs, and I ran across this one guru, and I watched his DVDs, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this guy is incredible. I'm like, wow. Like, he just like blew my mind. He was so, always Dapper Dan, always like dressed to the nines, and always just in really cool settings and everything. And I'm like, man, this guy's amazing. And you know how they say never meet your heroes, right? And so one time I finally go to one of his events. So I go to this event, and I go to get on the elevator, and he's there. Like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so, I get in the elevator. I'm a little nervous. It's quite a few years ago. I'm a little nervous, and I just kind of turn to him and I say, hey, I'm a big fan of your work. You're trapped in an elevator. How do I grow into being you? Probably not the best way to ask it. Let's agree. A little awkward, right? But I'm nervous, man. Like this guy. And he said to me, don't ask me when I'm stuck in an elevator. And he looked at me like that, and then he just looked forward. And I felt so dismissed. I felt so small. I felt like I never wanted to be him. And quite frankly, I don't. And so I don't want to be known for, that's a great showman. Because to me, it's fake. And I've met a lot of them over the years that are that way. And that's not me. I would rather show you my battle scars. I'd rather show you, the things that I've been through, the feelings that I had, because I believe that there's a difference between impressive and inspirational. And so this is, so I'm talking to our client. And here's the question I ask. So if you're someone that you're struggling with, well, I haven't had challenges. I've just kind of rocked and rolled everywhere I've gone. There's a reason for that. You just have to find that reason. So with this client, I dug and like, I'm just finding success story of success story. It's like getting exhausting because she's been, I was the spelling bee champion, and she's like everything in her life has always, she's just crushed. Until I dug deep enough. And she recalled when she was a little girl with a bunch of siblings, she recalled how her mom and dad would open up a can of beans, split it amongst all the kids, and her mom and dad would fight about money. And she vowed as a child she would never do that. Now, see, that's inspirational. See, that I can relate with. That I can understand. I can understand that way. But see, if you're not willing to be vulnerable, you're not going to inspire people. You're going to hit the big ranks. You're going to hit the big money, the whatever, the top of whatever, and not be that inspiring. There is something. I'll tell you one more story. I have another client that she grew up wealthy. Dad was well off. Family was well off. And she confided in me one day. She's like, you know what, to be honest, I really don't like sharing my story because, I kind of had the nicest cars in high school. I had money and, we're pretty good. And I'm like, okay, where have there been areas of your life where maybe you didn't feel so good? And it took a little bit of digging. But the truth is, she's never been able to impress her father. She's never gotten that acknowledgement. So even as a $1 million earner, didn't impress her dad. Didn't gain his approval. See, that's real. But see, you can share that story because how many people resonate with a parent not acknowledging them? Would that be all of us? Can all of us raise our hand right now, right? How many can resonate with that? So see, you don't have to say, I grew up wealthy and this happened, because then you get the, must be nice. You still felt that way. Had money, didn't have money. You still felt that way. Hurts. That doesn't feel good. Drives you to make, decisions in a little bit different way. So don't think that you have to have some just incredible bombshell traumatic story. It's how were you made to feel in different areas of your life. Is that helpful to those that are struggling with that? Is that helpful? I can see you. Just yes. Yeah? 3 people. Perfect. 3 of you. Great. We're going to do a separate Zoom meeting with the 3 of you. All right.
And just to add on to that, every one of those stories that you shared was them seeking permission or approval.
Exactly.
And we all do it. It runs deep.
Exactly.
It runs deep.
Exactly. To this day, I've never had my dad say he was proud of me. To this day. I have to operate in a way where I don't require that. Because if I require it, I'm not going to be able to show up for you. And quite frankly, I'm not going to be able to show up for me. Because I got to show up for me too. And don't think that these stories are us just being martyrs of look how much we've overcome. No. I'm doing this for me. Me helping to transform you makes me feel good. I do it very selfishly. See, most people won't tell you that. They want you to see him as a martyr. I do this because it makes me feel significant. It makes me feel acknowledged. It makes me feel like what I'm doing is worthy of something. That's why I do it. Helping to transform you makes me feel good.
I saw a clapper over here. Kendra. I saw her clapping.
Where's Kendra?
Right there.
Where's she at?
That resonated with her.
Kathy's got a clapper. She's got a custom clapper.
Whoa.
Lifer. Nice. Kathy Simpson.
That resonated
Awesome.
with them.
Good. Appreciate it, Daniel. Appreciate it. So, switch gears a little bit. So what have we been up to? This is where I want to applaud you, our rank makers. So proud of you. So some quick highlights.
Oh, my aunt is on here.
Yeah, I knew she would be.
Hey, Kathy.
Quick highlights. So since early 2018, Rank Makers has helped network marketers. You have enrolled 210,675 new customers. That's crazy. Y'all are crazy. Look, who's this? Kendra brushing her shoulder off. She's like, no big deal. Making it happen. You have recruited 50,343 new reps. You've rank advanced 9,468 times. And you've performed 34,513 Wealth Wednesday acts. So, way to go. It's just so cool to see you show up in these kind of ways. And I know this reflects a small percentage of you, because a small percentage of you update that tracker every week. I know. It increased last week. I was like, all right, yay. but only that's a small percentage of the rank makers that actually fill out the tracker. And so we just want to acknowledge you and appreciate you. It's amazing. I mean, that's incredible, right? Where else? And so just know that we're committed to improving the financial and relationship results of those desiring change. I can't do your sit-ups. I mean, it'd be so cool. You know, we have this Muay Thai trainer. He'll come to the house. Man, it'd be so cool if I could just you know, slide him some money and he just do all my workouts for me, and I become more agile and I'm able to do flips and, you know, right? This amazing kicks. It'd be awesome. Hey man, you know what? I ate a little much. If you could do like 1,000 sit-ups for me, man, I'd appreciate it. Like, that would be great. I mean, I just wouldn't wear a shirt. I would just come out here, hey guys, hey, how's it going? How you doing, right? I don't know what I'm doing, but people would get annoyed with my shirtlessness.
Yeah.
If I could pay
I
others
wouldn't get annoyed,
to
but
do,
you know.
to do wait a minute. What are you saying?
I wouldn't get annoyed if you walk shirtless ever, babe. That's what I mean.
Too kind. He's too kind. You did the work. That's the point of this story. You did the work. We can only give you suggestions. I can only give you action steps. You have to do them. And so I commend you for actually doing them. It's awesome. We appreciate you. Now, some big news. Last Rank Makers Live, right? Last Rank Makers Live, we made a big announcement. We said, hey, we got a contract with Hay House. It's amazing. We're so excited because our books up until now have really been self-published. We've had some help, certainly. So I don't like the term self-published because we've had help. But this is we had never been with a major publisher, and so just an update. Last year we announced it. This weekend you'll actually be able to pre-order, and we have some really cool bonuses for those that want to play. I'm not going to reveal. We're going to talk about that on day 3, so pay attention to that. But we're going to have a cool book club and a few other
Linda,
things.
Denise, Alice, Hadass, Cassandra.
Oh, you ordered? Y'all already ordered?
Brittany.
How'd you even do
Rosanna,
that? I don't even
Cheryl,
know how you did that.
Bambi. Very cool.
Well, that's amazing. I don't know how you guys are ordering, but I thought you could do that on day 3. But anyway, the official launch is November 17th. But again, you're going to get a sneak peek at the bonuses and different things that we have going on. And I do want to shout out our good friends. And one thing that I noticed in this industry of speaking is every trainer you ever see had a lot of help and had a lot of mentors, had a lot of coaches, had a lot of, whatever, had a lot of help. We've had a lot of help. And, you'll see us, here we are, we're speaking at our good friends Crescent and Sage Productions. They're amazing. They've helped us incredibly. One thing that we want to show up differently with is actually shouting out those who helped us, not just propping ourselves up like we did everything, because we didn't. All right. We have had so much help and so much mentoring. I want to give a shout out to one of those companies, and that's Two Market Media. Our friends at Two Market Media are amazing. This book just wouldn't be there without them, and so we want to give them a shout out. I think they may be on. They're incredible. Also, Play to Win would not be in existence without them either. So I just want to give them some love.
Total kudos.
So our job is to make your life easier and better. So I want to share with you, and this is going to be a theme. I want to do this every Rank Makers Live. I want to give you some coming attractions, some exciting things coming to the membership. And even one of these, even my team isn't fully aware of. So they'll be like, wait a minute, what's that one? And so
Great.
I want to share with you some coming attractions for our Rank Makers membership, because we're always going to look at how do we make it more fun? How do we make it your life easier? How do we make it better? How do we make it more awesome? So number one.
Wait.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Speaking of giving kudos and how do we make it better for you, we would not be here without the Higdon Group team.
Correct.
And Rank Makers would not be a thing without the Higdon Group team.
That is true.
So make sure all the support people that you interact with daily, all the people in the Rank Makers group.
I got them in here. I
All
got them
right.
in here.
All
I got them
right.
in here. Our Higdon Group team is amazing. If you've sent support a question. You've been treated very, very well, I bet. And they're just amazing. We definitely could not do what we do without them, for sure. I do have some specific shout-outs to them shortly. Cut it out. Cut it out.
This is a great slide deck.
So number one, gamifying the app so you can earn points to trade in for cool stuff. How cool is that? So we launched the app. We announced it at last Rankmakers Live. And so now you can go on there, you can watch any of the videos, you can access different bonuses, you can update the tracker, you can track your progress. Well, what's the next level? What's stage 2? Stage 2 is gamifying it so you can, with each interaction, with you watching a video, with you updating a tracker, you actually start to earn points that can translate into cool stuff. Is that pretty cool? Is that neat?
Yeah.
That's neat, right? Number 2, this has been a request for a while, but some deeper sessions on topics that you want. And this is, there will be deeper sessions. We will be doing, different polls in the group. I try to keep the daily video to be very short so that it's consumable, right? So that you can actually, get through it. And that your teammates can, because a lot of you have your team inside of Rankmakers, and if I make I know there's a tiny percentage of you that would love if I did an hour video every day, but there's a humongous percentage of you that would not be able to do that every day, right? And so we want to make it as consumable as possible, and that's what we've done. We've really taken that on this past year and a half, but there's also a lot of opportunity to go deeper on certain topics, so you'll be seeing that. I am going to be doing conversation reviews. Now, conversation reviews are where I actually take your messages, right, through, a lot of times it's, Facebook direct messages, and actually critique them and tell you what words I would actually say differently. Because there's a lot of people that say, hey, Ray, I'm using your scripts, but nothing's happening. And then I look at the scripts and I'm like, what's that? What's that over there? Well, I added a couple things. I had to add groundbreaking and patent pending, of course. No. Let's not do that.
Business opportunity.
And so more conversation reviews so you can get your messages on track, so you can increase your recruiting and your teammates can increase their recruiting. More contests and leaderboards. Things like Weekend Warrior, things like end of month contests, that if you have your team inside of Rankmakers, you're going to see them hustle a little bit harder as we get closer to the end of month and different weekends. So we're excited about that. Virtual hangouts to meet your fellow rank makers. We think that this is really cool, and this is going to be it may not be all about business. It may just be, hey, what are you up to? Where do you live? Where are you from? Just to kind of meet and connect. And I think that is very important during this time of, a lot of, depending on where you are in the country or the world, or your status of lockdown, you may not be going out a lot. You may be staying home, and we need social connectivity. We need that. And it doesn't have to be all about business. So more virtual hangouts. And this is the big one. This is a really, really big one. A brand new software that's going to blow your mind. This is something we've been working on for quite a while. A partnership with a company that we just love and adore. And a totally different experience that I can't really go into right now, but it's pretty amazing. And it's also gamified. It's also a way for you to basically express to it where you're struggling, and it will instantly come back with directions, with action steps, with training, with suggestions. It's really amazing. I may be able to show some screenshots of that later, throughout the event, but I can't right now. So, is that cool? Is that exciting?
By the way, Nika Porter,
doing a
I
great
love
job.
it. Hey,
doing a great job.
Good
Get that
job.
makeup on. Get that makeup on.
Hey, go for it. You're at home. Be
I love it.
comfortable.
I love it.
Enjoy. I just love seeing everybody in their element. It's great. Doing our makeup.
I love the emojis. They crack me up, man.
Yeah.
They crack me up. Do we have fun or what? I mean, we have fun. Come on. I didn't, you know, I didn't want to be the stuffy, hello, right? Let's have fun, man. Let's have fun. Let's be vulnerable. Let's share our stories, and let's inspire the world. Let's make it a fun experience.
Funny story I can't help but share around being fun.
Uh-oh.
So every time a contractor comes into our house,
Yeah.
they assume because of all the cameras and the wigs and the costumes, they assume that we do something other than online marketing training.
We're not sure what.
We have no idea what they mean by this, but they're very confused. And so the other day, you know, we sold our house.
Yeah. Yes.
Moving closer to Sabrina's school, going to build again. And the new owners get a call, or we get a call from the realtor saying the new owners, they have some personal items that they found in the home, and they're very concerned. Well, it was his bobby wig and some camera equipment. And they're like, what is, well, I don't know what they're into. This was their exact words. I don't know what these people are into, but I need to get this out of my home.
This is true. This is true.
Funny. But anyway, I digress. Some exciting rank maker stuff coming your way.
Yes. So yes, lost the bobby wig. And let me I just want to share something with you, because I know, especially if you're hearing it for the first time, like selling our dream home, right? Like that's tough. You know, I wanted to live in that community for 11, 12 years and set it as a goal, and we finally get there. And it is an amazing community. It's awesome. Nothing, you know, wrong with it. But it was, it's a lifestyle thing for the kids. They're in that community. It's incredible. And if you're an adult with older kids or adult with no kids, that's the place to be, because it's amazing. But no young kids for Sabrina Bear or Graham to play with, and very far distance from her school. So every day it was a minimum 45 minutes each way, but sometimes it was 90 minutes. And so having the freedom to say, you know what, we're going to move into an area that has more kids and be closer to a school was very cool.
You know what gave at least me, and I think you too, the courage to put it on the market, because it was very hard for us.
Yes,
it was very hard.
It was
this pandemic, and realizing how important family really is, and how all that other stuff, like traveling all the time, and which we still hope to do, but
sure.
You know, all that other stuff, we're young and we can do that again.
Yeah.
It's just what's
and
important.
The kids are only young, you know.
They're only young
one
once.
Time.
And so I hope that you've had some realizations during this pandemic too.
What's
because
important?
there are good lessons that came out of this. Absolutely.
Yep, for sure. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about your vision. And I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I really want you to understand that this year is special. And I know that, you know, that word can mean different things, but it really is special. If there were ever powers attempting to shrink you, this is the year. But I want to point something out. I want to point out that it reminds me, and it's not exact for sure, but it reminds me of 2009. And 2009 was right at the height of the realization of the real estate crash. The real estate actually started dipping in like June, July of 2007, but there was still a delay on lending and a delay on some things, government-wise, et cetera. And at least for me and most of the people that I was around in the real estate days, 2009 was the sledgehammer, was just the nothing is working, everything is destroyed, and it really, really sucked. And I entered the network marketing space in 2009, and I took the time to really think about, okay, who are the top earners, you know, now, you know, and ones that, you know, yes, of course, there's top earners that have been in for 30 years, 40 years, of course. But if you look at some of the most popular trainers, speakers, top earners, they came in 2009. I came up with a list of like 25 top earners that came into network marketing in 2009. Why? Why is that? And I really believe it was because their career was disrupted. Their career was changed. I remember in 2009, 2010, there were people in our company. There was one guy, this guy Tom, had 76 Domino's franchises. And he was running meetings all the time. Now, that seems strange because if you're not aware, it's $250,000 to start one Domino's franchise. What's he doing in network marketing? Because he had a disruption. We had one of the top 10 orthopedic surgeons in the United States in our team. We had people that had a bunch of restaurants in our team. We had people that had a bunch of pawn shops in our team. We brought in a gentleman who his real estate education company had been generating over $20 million a year. Brought him into the team, and he had me speaking at his events. I was the only non-real estate guy there. And so why? Why am I aware of so many powerful, influential, amazing people that entered the network marketing space, which can sometimes, some people it's like, oh, network marketing, one of those things, right? Well, how come so many influential and powerful people joined? Because it was a disruption. That's exactly what we've had this year, right? And you could call it a whole bunch of things, but I think we can all agree it's at least a disruption. People that have had their businesses wiped out. People that have had to obviously, be on the front lines of dealing with COVID, of dealing with the pandemic. People who have had their businesses disrupted, their businesses closed. People that, and by the way, when a business closes, it's not just the business owner that's affected, right? Some people have this weird notion of, oh, those rich business owners. Well, who do you think they pay? They pay their employees. What are you talking about? So when a restaurant goes out, who else goes out? The busboy, the waiter, the waitress, the host, the hostess, the chef, right? All the suppliers, the local farm that brought the tomatoes. You got to think about that. When you have businesses that are disrupted and they have to shutter their doors, it's not just the business owner that's affected. It's every customer. It's every employee. It's every supplier. All of their partners. And so you have something that anybody can do. Anyone, whether they have college degree, high school degree, any degree, pedigree, whether they have anything, can do what you do. You can show them how to get on social media from home and tell people, hey, check out this. Check out my service or product. You open it and taking a look at it. Anyone can do that. You see, that's not true of all these other businesses. Not everyone can start a restaurant, nor would they want to. And I told you the Domino's franchise, $250,000 for you to start a Domino's franchise. In the franchise agreement, okay, huge agreement, tells you all the statistics on why you'll probably not make it. But in it, it says you should expect a 10-year return on investment. Do you know what that means? That means that if you buy this for $250,000 in 10 years, you should have made that $250,000 back.
Seems like a great deal.
Winning. Great deal, right? Just think about it. What if you went to people you knew and said, hey, it's it's $1,000 to join my business, but you should make it back in 10 years? They'd say, what the hell are you talking about? 10 years? That's ridiculous. But you know what? You would have a better opportunity. Why? Less risk. You mean I'm only risking 1,000? Okay. All right, 10 years. Better than risking 250,000, isn't it? So see, this is a special year because there is such a disruption. There are so many people out of a job because their business is closed down or they're not able to operate with what's going on. Government's not going to bail you out. I hope you know that. By the way, left, right, middle, over here, right? They ain't going to bail you out. They're not going to take care of you. You have to take care of you. You have to figure that out. Regardless of who's in the White House, you got to figure it out, okay? You have the opportunity to help a whole lot of other people, help them figure it out. You have a solution where so many people only have problems. They don't know what to do. They're scared to invest their money, the money that they're guarding and hoarding onto, to start a new business. They don't know what they're doing. But you could help them. You could show them what to do. It's just so similar, 2009. You got to step up. You have to step up right now. You have to step up. Don't shrink because everyone else around you is shrinking. This is the time to step up. It's the time. And you'll see we have some amazing, very cool swag. One of the new swag shirts is Rise and Serve. Rise and serve. That's the deal. You got to be willing to rise this year, not shrink, not hide, rise. In whatever way that, we're going to show you. We're going to show you those ways this weekend. Those who go all in these next 12 months, I really believe. And I'm telling you, I would be going after the people that you would have been scared to go after before. Go after those influencers, not just on Instagram, but in your town, the business owners. Because a lot of them are scrambling. Okay? So I want you to go through some questions. And we're going to give you a minute here once I get through some of these questions. But I really want what would you look like if you got past all your excuses? Past all your obstacles? What would that look like? Who would you be? How would you show up? And really feel that. Really feel that.
Can we play some music for these guys? Is that possible?
A movie. It's actually from Rhonda Byrne and her productions. It's called Dare to Dream. Has anyone seen this? Some people are calling it like The Secret Part 2, right? And it's more of a movie than what The Secret was. But there's a scene in there that I thought there's several scenes in it that I thought, first of all, how many have seen it? How many have seen it's called Dare to Dream.
Yeah.
Anna says I would be a whole new person.
Some of them.
Powerful. Yeah, great movie. Marina saw it. There's a scene in there where, and it's about, your thoughts control, your thoughts impact what happens to you. And there's a scene where the main dude, he's talking to this receptionist at a hotel, and the receptionist says, I'm studying to be a lawyer. But man, these tests are so hard and whatever. And, he walks out and he walks back in and he says, can you see yourself be a lawyer? And she thought about it and she goes, yeah, I can. And he said, I can too. That's really powerful. Can you see yourself a top earner? Can you see yourself influential? And if I'm saying those words and your immediate thing is, no, because darn husband. No, because these damn kids. No, because I grew up over here. And we got to fix that. We got to help that. So you got to be able to see it. You have to be able to see you seeing similar scenario that we have going on here. All these people tuning in to hear from you. You have to be able to see that. Can you see it? Feel that. Okay? So many times in my career, in our careers, we've been blessed to have people come up to us and, thank us. and say, the appreciation. I remember I was out in, or we were out in Denver, Colorado, and I was at a convention, and it was actually when the company we were the top earners of, was transitioning to another company. It was back in 2013. And I remember, and there were like, 7,000, 8,000 people there. And I'm walking toward the bathroom, and I'm just, this is how I walk. I'm just kind of walking toward the bathroom. And I don't know why I need to demonstrate that. But out of the corner of my eye, I see something fast moving. And I'm just like, I see this like something's, am I about to be attacked? Like what is happening? And so I stop and I look, and there was a gentleman maybe in his 60s, I would guess, I don't know. And he said, "Are you Ray Higdon?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh my God, I've never met you, but you've changed my life." And he starts crying, I start crying, and it was just so amazing to feel that. I want you to feel that. I want you to go to places and people say that to you. I want people to come up to you and thank you for showing up, for being vulnerable, for sharing your story. Can you see yourself feeling that? Can you see that happening for you? I can. We can. We can see that. I hope you can too. And let's work on that. Let's work on that to help you see that. Okay?
I want to back up for a minute to your first question. I'm looking at the chat, and I'm seeing that I won't call out, but I'm seeing some pretty incredible and also upsetting obstacles that people have to get through. And that if they got through, they would be they would have a completely different life. They'd be doing the opposite of what they've done. And so I just want to talk at this point for a minute.
Okay.
Who are you seeking permission from? I want that to play all weekend for you. It's one of the reasons I talked about it at the very beginning.
Yeah.
You don't need permission from anybody but yourself. And so if you have a very life-threatening or mentally threatening situation, you don't need permission to get out of that.
Amen. Amen. And just so you're aware, no one gave us permission. I remember telling the college professor that I looked up to more than anyone else. Like I just really looked up to him. I remember telling him that I was leaving the corporate world, and he was just like, "You'll be back." And I was just like, dang. He couldn't handle that I was going to leave a career to start the unknown, regardless of what he thought about me. We didn't get permission. Jess's parents didn't jump for joy when she said, "Now that I finished my college degree, I'm going to do network marketing." They weren't soups excited about that, so you're aware, okay? People ask me, "Well, what are you going to do about your benefits?" I'm going to pay for them. That's what I'm going to do, and I'll have freedom. And so, very powerful. You don't need permission. Okay. How will you add to the world? What charities will you give to? What causes will you take up? With more capital, you can do more. Doesn't mean if you don't got capital, you're terrible. Not what I'm saying. I know people like to twist that. But with more, if you're a giver, if you're someone that wants to make a difference, I want you to have more money. I do. So you can build that center. So you can house those orphans. so you can help those abused women, so you can hire and train people, so you can give more jobs. I want you to help people. You can. You got to see that. You got to see that. I see Kevin Leifer nodding his head. I like it. So I just want you. I just want to take a minute. Now let's put on some soothing jazz or whatever kind of music you're wanting.
Meditation.
Take a minute and really see that. I want you to picture yourself walking in some random place where you don't think you're ever going to run into somebody, and someone come up to you and thank you. I've had a lot of those scenarios. Weird places. Or there was a pit boss at the MGM Grand. There was a guy in St. Kitts, of all places. I'm getting on a boat, and he says, "Rank makers." And I'm like, what? That's weird. I want you to see that. I want you to see yourself and people saying your name in gratitude. People thanking you for showing up. Thanking you for sharing your story. Thanking you for overcoming all that you've overcome. That's been a lot. I want you to feel that. Who's feeling that? See Sean. See Lola.
Barbara. Greg.
Lola with the rhinoceros. I like it. Very nice.
Lisa.
Awesome.
Stacy. Elizabeth. C.
Awesome.
David.
You got it. You can do this. We're honored to be a part of your journey. We're honored to applaud you, root for you, congratulate you. You can do this. Awesome. Powerful. You do not know how your good and you showing up can impact others. Who's seen our Play to One, both seasons, season 1, season 2? Drop me
Paddle it or raise your hand.
You got a couple options.
We can
there.
see most of you, so
you can try
quite a few.
Be
of you,
ambidextrous
okay.
and right. Well, there's a lot of stories. There's a lot of stories that came out of both seasons already, right? And tonight, of course, is the finale. It's incredible. A lot of fun, a lot of emotion. Was episode 4 emotional or what?
Oof.
Ooh-wee. That was a strong one.
I see Kelly over there.
Where's Kelly?
Right there.
There she is. And I love the shirts. I see all the blue shirts. Awesome. The blue shirts. They're here. Well, there's a story, and I shared that. Easy there. Who's that? Leslie. Leslie, be careful there. She's doing a show for us. Goodness gracious. I'm expecting to see Minnie Ray any minute now.
Yeah.
Oh, no. There she goes.
Oh, there she goes.
There she goes to get Minnie Ray. So for those that don't know about Minnie Ray, so last year at Rankmakers Live, the team had ordered some, they wanted some like life-size, cutouts of Jess and I.
Pictures and stuff.
Pictures to have in the swag shop. And so Minnie Ray was supposed to be like 6 feet. Minnie Ray's like this tall. And Leslie, through a series of things, won Minnie Ray and has been taking him on an adventure the whole time.
This
Great.
tall.
Yeah, I may be exaggerating. He's very small. But I want to share.
Oh, there he is. He's got a shirt on.
I know. He's got a shirt. He's all dressed up. But I want to share a story because I want you to understand that you don't know how your good may impact you and others, and neither do we. Let me tell you, we had no idea how Play to Win was going to go. We're going to do a reality show where we coach people and put them on challenges and really put them through the grinder, and something good will happen. We're like, okay, all right, let's see how that goes, right? And there are so many, I mean, all of them really. We're so proud of all of our contestants, but I want to share one really important one with you. And this one just really moves me. I did share it. I know not everyone sees, but I did share it, I think, maybe a week or two ago. But this comes from one of our contestants, Renee Adams. Renee Adams was on season 1 of Play to Win, and Renee had never shared her story of sexual abuse and being trafficked. Never shared it. And by the way, we didn't weirdly screen our contestants of how much trauma have you been through. It's just how it happened. It's just how it was meant to be. We had so many people on season 1 and season 2 that had been through some very, very serious trauma. So Renee had never shared her story ever to anybody. She shared it in Play to Win season 1. Play to Win season 1. And she shared about her abuse that she had overcome. She shared about the trauma. She shared all these different things. Never shared it before. And we encouraged her that she was a survivor, that she was an inspiration, that she could help a lot of people that had been through similar things. And you know what? I give that advice a lot. Some take it. Most aren't able to overcome that fear of being vulnerable and don't. And their stories don't get shared. They don't get heard. Not Renee. I remember I think it was like 1 week after the show. And by the way, she wasn't the winner of Play to Win season 1. She was one of the contestants. I remember 1 week after the show, she messaged me. She said, "Today I'm speaking at a women's center." I'm like, oh my God, she's doing it. She's doing it. Oh my God. I was so excited. I was overcome. And I want to share this. And so this is from just a week or two ago. She started about a year ago, started sharing her story at different centers, at different places. And she just spoke at the 17th Annual Human Trafficking and Social Justice Conference with the University of Toledo with 19 countries attending. How many thousands and thousands of people got inspiration from that story, got inspiration from her being vulnerable? See, that's world changing. There are people out there, they need to hear your story. They need to hear what have you overcome. They need to hear it. So I'm just so proud of her. So proud of her.
Renee is amazing.
Renee is amazing. And, in this, another thing that this year has really woken up for us is that human trafficking is such an issue. I mean, it's one of those things that I think most people knew, definitely bad, definitely an issue, didn't know to what degree. And that's why one of the reasons we're going to bring on later in the day, we're going to bring out our friend Aros, who is with Adaptive Ops that actually rescues kids. He actually flew here to be in the studio with us. And oh, by the way, being here, he's actually working on cases. He actually started pulling up the missing children and started running through processes that he does to help reconnect families with their lost kids, with their lost teenagers. It's going to blow your mind, man. his company has ran missions with Operation Underground Railroad. They're different companies, but he's ran missions for them. Very special individual, someone who is helping so many people that need our help. And so I'm excited. He's going to be on a little bit later today.
And here's a reason you need to be on that.
Yeah.
If you have children,
Yes.
grandchildren, you have friends with children, they need this education.
They do.
And I mean that wholeheartedly. You need this education.
Yeah.
The whole world needs this education, because if we educate the whole world, this stops. They don't like to be out in the open.
You know, Jess, this morning, just in a conversation, a passing conversation, Jess asked him, she said, how do these guys know how to do the grooming that you talk about? How do they know who to prey on? How do they know this stuff? He said they've been doing it for thousands of years. They actually pass down training on how to do it.
They have a book.
They have a book on how to execute this kind of evil. So we have to get trained. We've got to do our part. And so I'm excited to have him on here. It's going to be tough to hold things together because he's seen some things that I definitely don't ever want to see. Okay? But play big with us. Dedicate this time. Don't just be okay just because you bought a ticket. Like, seriously, play big with us. Show up. Be here. Be present with us. And I want to recognize some special people. Again, there's so many. I mean, there's just so many people that help us make all of this happen. And one Jess mentioned, the Higdon Group, right? That's our squad, that's our tribe, that's our people. What you don't see from behind the scenes is every single person within our company is here not just for the bottom line, not just to bring in more money, but to transform you, to change your life, to make your life easier. I don't know how many times I've had we've had someone in our company at whatever position come to us with an idea. Hey, I think this might, if we did this, it might actually help them more. They're all 100% fighting for you all the time. All the time. And there's some special groups that I want to recognize. I want to recognize our amazing ambassadors. Our amazing ambassadors. These are the guys, they work tirelessly in the Rank Makers group. Just so amazing. Appreciate you so very much.
Guys, these guys are volunteers.
They're volunteers.
What they do is incredible.
And we spoil them with swag and we send them some cool stuff, but they're volunteers. They're helping you out because they love our mission and they love working with amazing people like you. Adrian, been with us since really early on, man. Really early on. Camille, Judy, Eugene, Elsa, Marlo. Appreciate you guys so much. Just incredible. The group would not be the group without these guys. Yes. So, Mary Kate is absolutely incredible. Let's see. What wouldn't be the same without Mary Kate? Rank Makers wouldn't be the same. Play to Win wouldn't be the same. Our book wouldn't be the same. Like, I failed English. True story. High school. Y'all learning from someone who failed English in high school. And I remember going to Miss DeWitt. True, that's her name.
Wow.
And I'm calling her out. Where are you at? Yeah. I remember going to Miss DeWitt and I said, hey, I'm like failing this class. Can I make up? And she's like, no, you fall asleep every day. True story. Because I lived in a party house my senior year, and that was the last period of the day I couldn't stay awake. So I didn't finish high school on time, just so you're aware.
So in other words, thank you, Mary Kate.
Thanks, Mary Kate. So we need it. If I wrote any part of any book without someone looking at it, it would be like, what kindergartner wrote this? It'd be terrible. So she has helped us so much with helping with improve the efficiency of rank makers, improve the transformation of rank makers, improve play to win with her amazing insights, and she also provided us a special ops mole for season 2. Some of you know what I'm talking about, right? Very, very high intense individual.
It was great.
Helped us with our book, helped us with play to win, helped us with so many different things. So we love you, Mary Kay. Thank you so much. Our amazing speaking team. And so, you know, we're the guys that invested a huge amount of money to start a speaking team
right before
a pandemic. Yay! When all events around the world are canceled. So it's like, okay, great, let's get that speaking team on the never mind, right? But you are going to see more and more of these amazing individuals. Michelle, Stacy, Nicole, Jenny, Elsa, Michelle, Jennifer, and Kaylee. They're incredible. Some of them are also Inner Circle coaches, but they are our speaking team. And so what does that mean? What does that look like? Well, sometimes companies want us to speak at their events, or virtually or in person, and there's a conflict, but they still need our style of training. We have trained, along with some help from many amazing mentors, we have trained these guys to share our style of training, and so they are able to speak at these different events where we may not be able to for scheduling reasons or whatever, and so they're incredible. They're in your corner. They're amazing.
And one thing you should know about,
Yes.
before we get to someone very special,
Yes.
one thing you should know about this team is they have all created success in their own lives.
Yeah, they have.
So.
They have, absolutely. Also want to give a shout out to our girl, Anu. Anu is amazing. She is our director of coaching. She is our Top Earner Club director. So she works with our top clients. And Anu's there. Hey,
Yay.
Anu.
Hey, Anu. We can see you.
We can see you. Wait, there she is. Yay. and so Anu works directly with our top clients, helping navigate the different resources, helping them with the different things that they may be tackling, and then helping to guide us better serve these 6- and 7-figure earners. And by the way, if you are a 6- or 7-figure earner, make sure, I believe on your dashboard, there's a leaders meetup on day 3 that you can attend. You got to fill out a couple questions, I think, but check out your dashboard for that. And so we are excited. We are just getting started, and so I'm here for you. We're going to do a 15-minute break. I look to be sure. We're going to do a 15-minute stretch break, and I think it's important. Get up, do some jumping jacks. If you got a trampoline, like jump around on that.
Feature.
Can I get that back up
Your
there?
sugar levels,
And,
get your coffee, your water, your pen and paper. We're going
Yes.
to get into some really good content today. So.
And Garrett mentioned this, but our goal for day 1 of any event we do is for you to say, holy cow, day 1 was completely worth my investment, So we have some very serious strategy sessions coming your way. We have some very hardcore strategic speakers coming up very shortly. I know we've been talking a lot about emotions, and we've been talking about digging into your story, being more vulnerable, seeing a vision for yourself, which is the stuff that you really need, but we're also going to bring in some strategies so you can back that up and really maximize how you can help people this year when so many people need it. Don't forget, you can visit the swag shop, and if you have questions, I know that you can't walk into the shop and ask questions, but you kind of can, because we have a digital swag shop where you can ask questions. If you have questions about sizes or something like that, you can certainly do that. And if you're having an amazing time, if you've already had a breakthrough, or you've already received something really, really cool, share on social media, Facebook or Instagram, with the hashtag RML2020.
RML 2020.
Rankmaker Live 2020. And one of the things we're going to give away today are custom AirPods. Are these on the table? Right over here. Here they are. So these, dude, I want these now. These are amazing. I might keep these. Oh, I'm just kidding. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but these are Higdon Group branded Apple AirPods, not a knockoff, but this is going to be one of the killer prizes we give away today, just for sharing what's one of your takeaways from Rankmakers Live so far. I know we're just getting started, and we got so much more for you. So 15-minute break.
Wait.
What?
Did you tell TC, SVIP, and VIPs?
You need to say that, babe.
He forgot. Okay.
I've been waiting for you to say that.
All right. Big shout out to our TEC members. We obviously just introduced Anu, SVIP, VIP, and Lifers. We're excited to have you here. We did not forget about you.
I see him in the name. It's awesome.
So TEC, SVIP, and VIPs, you can ask your question to myself and Ray on the dashboard. Okay, so you do have an option to do that. Just wanted to mention that. It's very important. We don't want to leave that out. So
and I believe Inner Circle too. I don't see them on there, but Inner Circle can ask a question as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And so be back at 1 p.m. Eastern and right?
What?
No?
What? Wait. What?
What is happening?
Wait. You're forgetting a lot of stuff. You can't. Housekeeping. Ray can't do housekeeping. Come on, guys. He's inspiration.
I'm not good for housekeeping.
Let me do housekeeping. Okay. So there's a song that we chose for the theme of this event because of the message within it. So when you hear the High Hopes song playing. All right, when you guys hear that song, that means that we are going to start in 1 minute, okay? 1 minute. So make sure that you listen for that. We're going to be looking at you doing little dances. Panic at the Disco, man, they're amazing.
They're pretty good.
Amazing. So we'll see you here in 15.
All right. Bye.